Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's March 26th of 2021, my 80th birthday. My daughter Hillary just came over with a birthday cake. I took a picture of it. We haven't cut into it yet. With my cell phone. It hasn't been uploaded yet to Amazon Photos or Google Photos. I'm not sure why I'm using them both. I have been for a long time. I got a bunch of things that I use that places that videos and photos and things go that I don't even know, that I've forgotten that it's a kind of a mess. Be kind of neat to have it all simplified down, but at 80 years of age, I don't think it's going to get any simpler than I am. So anyway, Hillary brought over a cake, a couple pound cakes, because I like pound cakes. She then went out and got Whataburgers for us. And then this afternoon, she's going to barbecue. So I'll probably be out there with because the weather is going to be fantastic today, about 80 degrees. So I'll probably be out there watching her barbecue and making some video. Last time I did that, I was standing right there by the fence, and a possum came and was standing behind me, and I wasn't paying. And I saw it on the video later. Then it went through a hole in the fence there. I think it's interesting that Dominion Voting Systems is suing Fox News for $1.6 billion. Plus, too, when they have trials like that, they get to take statements before the trial. Both sides can call up the other side and ask them questions. So it's going to be interesting, with the Dominion voting system. They're going to be able to ask questions. Who else did you conspire with? Who else did you, talk to? What was your motive? And all this kind of stuff that's going to be interesting. And Fox News should lose for sure. Even when Dominion threatened, sent out a statement saying, what you're saying is not correct, and we are informing you it's not correct, and it's not correct, and we will sue you for $1 billion or $1.6 billion or whatever they said. Fox News continued for a while after that. Then Fox News apologized, and then Fox News had people on there who I guess hadn't got the word. Even people on their staff who hadn't got the word and were still saying, lying about the situation. And then they had the Pello guy on there quite a while after they'd apologized, after Fox News had apologized, and he came on and he went into a rant about, the Dominion Voting System. I guess I should say the Dominion Voting Systems is a company, one of several, that manufacture voting machines. I guess they probably, I'm not sure if they create their own software or if it's made for them. And then they have other, things set up. I don't know how it works. And there are several companies. I think they I remember about two of them being mentioned. And the Trump people and Trump and those said that they were working in conspiracy with other nations that, the Dominion voting system and others were. I mean, they just said all these things which were blatantly not true, and also, these companies contract out for local. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but and then of course the various states, they have checks and balances to make sure, and people are monitoring it, and people are trying to find if there's any thing going on that shouldn't be, all that type of stuff. And so this was just crazy of Fox News to do this, and the others that do it. Anyway, when the Pella guy came on Fox News, he just went into a rant, and the host, the Fox News host people were trying to stop him. Don't, that, there's no proof of that. We're not, and then I think they had to cut him off. I don't think they did. It's a wonder you didn't see him come in and grab him, and pull him off or something. And then I guess just recently he was on, I'm not sure what, he wasn't on Fox News, that's for sure, because he was on some blog casting, or I'm not sure where it was, but he was there telling the same lies about Dominion and complaining that Fox News had banned him and that he was never going to be on Fox News again. So, interesting. And so the other thing on CNN here, the headline, some Social Security recipients are still waiting for their stimulus checks. That's the situation here. There's 3 of us. Myself, my ex-wife, my grown son. And none of us have got the $1,400 stimulus. And it turns out, and we kind of, at first we thought, okay, well, it's going to take a while. It took a while the other 2 times. It's going to take a while. But then it got to be, where in the heck? Why? Because myself and my ex-wife were on Social Security, and that's about it. And, we're in the system. But apparently this also is affecting people who are on SSI, Social Security. I don't know what that is, but anyway. And it's somebody else, another group, and veterans. I mean, retired veterans. And no money. And then, of course, there were announcements, like, when the announcement was first made that, money was going out, I have a son who lives in the Washington, D.C. area, and it was supposed to start out like, I think Saturday. They announced, and my son got his Friday before that. So anyway, it turns out that, I don't know, I'll put a link to this. It turns out that for some reason I'll just put a link to it. You can read it yourself. Something to do with the Social Security Administration, and then I guess the Veterans Administration, and I don't know who else, have to transfer the data over to the IRS. And I'm 80. I can't remember the last time I filed a income tax. I haven't needed to file an income tax return. So I think this article says that what we could have done or should have done is, even though we are not required to file one, and even though we don't meet the criteria to have to do it, we probably would have got our money if we had went ahead and filed an income tax return. So I don't know, but anyway, it says in this article that I'll put a link to it, but some members of Congress, I guess they probably all have to be Democrats, because I don't think any Republican voted for the stimulus program at all. Some Congress people screamed and hollered and shouted and ordered, the IRS to get this money out to these people immediately. We're giving you 24 hours. Here it is. Let's see. Was this one? Let's see. Well, it says here that Parcell and other members of the House Ways and Means Committee, which oversees the two agencies, I guess that's the IRS and I don't know who else, sent a letter Wednesday requesting that the files be transferred within 24 hours. And then I just read this before I started up this video. I guess the IRS said, or maybe it was the other people, whoever they were, ordered, we did it, we transferred it already, we transferred it, it went out, So maybe here in a day or two or three, maybe we'll get the $1,400. I keep saying $1,400, but of course there are people who are going to get with this. If you have kids, and if you have small kids, I forget 1 to 3 or something like that, they're getting more than $1,400. So, like I've mentioned, I think it's just about every time I've talked about this. I won't speak for everybody. I definitely am in the category of being a poor person. No doubt about that, statistically and everything. But there's people out there, a ton of people, millions of people who need that money right away. We're okay. It's going to help us, but we're okay. We're sharing an apartment. We used to be, of course, I got divorced about 40 years. Let's see, I think I was 40. Yeah, 40 years ago. I've been divorced for 40 years, and then, of course, in the beginning, my ex-wife, she had her, I paid child support and whatever, and but, 10, 11 years ago, whatever, I moved to Texas. I had to think where I was. And you may have seen those videos. Into this apartment complex. My ex-wife lived in an apartment over there, and I moved in with my grandson in the apartment above it. And then that was 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. And then eventually I told an apartment downstairs that's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms became available. And I asked the apartment people, I said, is it, well, there was, I think, another one in here. And they said, oh, sorry, that's taken. I said, oh, I was interested. Well, what about the one in the back on the ground floor? And I said, that's available, yeah. So they came over and took me in. I looked at it and I thought, wow, this is much better for $100 more a month. So I told my grandson, I said, if you're willing to pay $100 more a month, we can get the place downstairs. He didn't really care too much, but he did. And so my grandson and I moved in. And then eventually his mother moved here from Sweden, and they took an apartment in this apartment complex. And then my ex-wife and I, we discussed it. We were both paying apartment rent. We were both paying for cable television. We were both paying for internet service. We were, that kind of stuff. And hell, let's move in together. And so that puts us in a survivable position. And otherwise we'd be, really hurting. It would be hard to make it. And things are much better for us. We're in an okay situation, but some of these people desperately need this stimulus money. And what should have been done really is, but I mean, everything's political. Everything has to be, fought out and that type of stuff. When all this happened, and then when the virus, hit, that type of stuff, there should have been a stimulus package passed, and both Democrats and Republicans should have been for it, not just the Democrats. But they should have done it for X period of time, And I don't know. I have trouble balancing a checkbook. But they should have done it X amount of money per month until certain conditions are met. And whatever the conditions needed to be, they can figure, until the gross national product is, until the interest rates or whatever, bring all that crap in, which just ends up screwing little people, I think. And should have worked something out like that. So so these people would have money coming. I mean, we'd have been all right. But these other people would have had some money coming in because, here they just did this stimulus thing, I think, 3 times, at least as far as the checks are going out. And it's got to be hard for people. I mean, So anyway, that's that. I talked about this before, but I went ahead and I've talked about this before, and I asked advice. Sorry, because I asked advice and I got advice from several people saying, "Don't do it, Jim," and they gave me the reason. But I went ahead and I have ordered an LG 27UL 550 27-inch 4K monitor, and it should be here Monday. Now, everything they said was true, and but I still went ahead and did it. Maybe you shouldn't ask advice from people if you're not gonna. Well, I did listen to it and thought it over, and actually agreed with them for a few days. But I've been watching every day YouTube videos on this. Now, the monitor that I'm going to be getting Monday, it's a 550 model, and the only difference between the 500 model and the 550 is the stand. The other one has, I have several LG monitors on the floor here. One LG monitor and one August, I forget, I said it, I knew it yesterday. And then there's 2 or 3 monitors over there, one in LG and whatever. And I'm a river to my people. My son has got a 4K monitor that I ordered before and a widescreen monitor that I ordered before. My ex-wife, on her computer, she's gone through 2 or 3 monitors, because it started out she had a small 24-inch or something like that. Upgraded, and I just, so I'm the monitor man. So the monitor that I'm using right now is ViewSonic, and it's a nice monitor, 27-inch. It's not, actually, it is 4K. if you have, which I do, if you have the video card that supports it, I don't even understand what how that all works out, but I went into the NVIDIA settings because I found a site that said if you have such and such a monitor, go in, and then you go into the NVIDIA settings, you go down to one of the menus, you go on that, click on this menu thing, you click on that, and one of the things, and I guess that option is on or off. If it's off, you click it to on, and then you have resolutions, then you can go and click on your monitor and click, so I just watched something in 4K, just watched a couple with this monitor. But anyway, I've got this other monitor coming. My plan as of today is I'm just going to have the one monitor. But knowing me, and if you watch my videos, you know me. Knowing me, probably, well, I'm not going to get the other monitor till Monday. Next week, I'll probably have this ViewSonic monitor next to the new LG monitor coming. We'll see. I hope not. My goal, one of my goals in life is, keep it simple. But so watching something in 4K, if you haven't done it, is just amazing. I watched, in fact, on this monitor, which is not a 4K monitor. Again, I watched the 4K videos of Miami, Florida, South Beach, Haulover Beach, all that stuff, and those are all areas of Miami. I spent 5 years there that I walked the very past Bayside Mall. They're all familiar. All those shops So that was neat. But then I watched some other of the 4K videos. Now Las Vegas, I've never been to Las Vegas, and they couldn't go in the casinos. You know how that is. They don't want you in there with cameras, I guess. But amazing, even just outside. Well, not as amazing as Las Vegas but just walking down the street and you can see, oh, there's such and such a casino, and there's such and things casinos you've heard of. Then I watched Paris, 4K walking, video. And then I watched New York City. I've never been to New York City, but I mean, all those places we've heard of them, and we've seen them in movies and things like that. And that was amazing because somebody's walking. I don't know. They must have it on their. I'm not sure if the chest or they have it on their hat or something, but they're walking through, and you see the police emergency vehicles trying to get through New York City streets. You see churches that you recognize the name of, and buildings and all that type of stuff. Just amazing. 4K is just, in that, for that thing, it is amazing. I don't do very much video editing. I'm kind of lazy. Well, not kind of. I am lazy. You look in the dictionary for lazy, my middle name, you'll find me listed there. But I do occasionally edit a video, and I should edit them all, but with the more space you have, when you pull your video or audio, your thing in there, to have the room all spread out there where you can edit and do things and get around. When you don't have 4K, when you don't have a wide monitor, then you're having to, you put a video in there, and it's off the screen. So then you got to slide down to the, slide over, go over. Okay, there's the end of it or whatever. But then you put the next one in, and it goes on in there if that's where you put it, and then you have to. But with when you have more room, it's much better, much easier. So maybe that will motivate me to make some better videos. So what else is going on? I think that's it. Let me see if I don't think it'll be there yet. Let me see if the picture of my cake is, nope, not there. I don't understand. It sort of seems like, I mentioned this before. I'm not sure. Okay, the cake video is, what am I looking for? Oh, photos. Okay. Okay, well. It seems like when I go here, like I take a picture or a video. Well, let me pull something up so I can see what you see. Okay. Are you heading to the bank, my son?
Yep.
Okay, I appreciate it. Did I count correctly?
Yep.
Okie doke. There you go. It seems like when I go and view something, a image or let me see if I refresh, it seems like it ends up getting uploaded quicker. There, okay. Oh, okay, well, we found out something, didn't we? You probably already knew that. There it is. So, yeah, that's something first time I've seen this, first time I've done it, I've gone and checked, but never saw that happen like that. So it looks like the Google Photos, you take an image or you make a video, it'll just sit there on your camera until you actually look at it or do something with it. So please click on the thumbs up. I don't usually tell you to do that, but I know it's everybody's video, not everybody's, but I generalize too much. But people are always saying, oh, be sure, YouTube makers, be sure and vote on the thumbs up. If you vote on the thumbs up, then it lets Google know that you like this video, and then there's more chance that it's going to be shown to other people because you clicked on the thumbs up. So I guess eventually I'm going to make a few little clips. Maybe I'll do that on my new monitor. Excuse, justify the expense of spending that kind of money for it. So anyway, I'm using the Logitech C920E for the video. The Brio is sitting over here. Right now I cannot find the Type C. That's what it takes, the Type C. USB. I have those cables here someplace. Right now I can't find it. But you know what I think I'll do, since I'm going to be getting the new monitor? I think I'll hook my Panasonic G7 up as a second camera. I think I'll keep that one because it sits right on top of the monitor, so nice. The Brio, I think they changed it after I got, like, as soon as that thing came out, and they had, I forget what type of you know, they have the tripod thing under it, but they had something else that was kind of weird. Instead of having the normal thing, like, you know. So I think I'll do that. I think today I will hook up the, yeah, hook up the Panasonic G7. I showed you, I think, the video of yesterday or the day before of this room, a disaster area. It looks like a tornado hit it, just because I was trying to find one cable, a DisplayPort cable, because I broke one. In fact, I think I mentioned this, not only did I break the cable, I think I broke the DisplayPort, you know, place where you plug it in on the back of, I think, this monitor. I've switched monitors so much. Stupidity on my part. This monitor, and some of the monitors, you know, in order to plug your cables into it, you can't, they're not like where you go straight in, you know, it's not where you see them. They're up underneath like a shelf on the thing. And especially me, I have to take the monitor and lay it down. So I have to move everything to make sure I don't scratch this. I have to lay it down, and then what I do is leave the cable. That's what leave the cables plugged in. I'm not unplugging and plugging them back in. I leave them plugged in. Even when I'm like, if I have, you know, HDMI running into it, and DisplayPort running, I just leave those cables going, and I'm only maybe using one of them like I am now, because it's such a, but this, of course, this monitor that I'm getting, and like the, most of the others around here, you just plug the cable into the back. It's just right, the connectors are right there. You can see it, not underneath a shelf. I don't know why they do that. There's got to be some reason why they do it. I'm not sure if it's, you know, money, or if it maybe better in some way. Don't know. These HD radios are of ham radios, and the other, what is the other they call? Not GMR. That you can get HDs, you can get like 2 of them, or a little, you know, for $60 or something or rather. But I think you do need right now, I think they're lowering the price down. I'm not talking about amateur radio, I'm talking about this, what is it called? Maybe if I do a search for it. Well, anyway. Right now, the license for that is $80, but they're lowering the price down to, the FCC, down to $37. But the nice thing about that is you buy one license and the entire family can, you know, can use it. And I think even your family someplace else could use that call sign. And they're lowering it down to $37. And there are actually repeaters set up on there. You can't be guaranteed, you know. And so you can talk direct, you know, depending on the terrain and everything, a mile and a half. But if you go through a repeater or something, or if you're on top of a mountain, you know, much further, and, you know, say you're going on a trip and you have a couple carloads of family or something traveling. Of course, I guess everybody would use cell phones nowadays, wouldn't they? But it'd be much easier just to have the thing laying there on the seat or on the dash of your vehicle and be on, and the other people in the other car could, you know, key up and say, hey, we're going to pull over for restroom, or we just got a flat tire or something. Anyway, GMDR, is that it? Let me try that. I guess I could just go to, Amazon and nope, that's not it. I knew what it was. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. You've never seen me get sidetracked before, right? Anyway, I started to look at my Brio. Thank you very much for watching.